This is the Traders Exclusive Live Trader Showcase. I'm Sherry. This is the quarterly event where we feature expert traders and bring you training and insights from 20 expert traders. We have prize giveaways for everyone in attendance. We're going to do some drawings. We have some surprise interviews. Please check out tradersexclusive.com, where we regularly post articles and video clips with valuable trading tips and techniques. This is also where you're going to find the recordings for this event. And before we get started, we have to share a quick disclaimer. You know it. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources. You may lose all or more of your initial investment. Opinions, market data, and recommendations are subject to change at any time. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This is training. You have to do your own research, and you should always verify and research.
Hi, I'm Norman Hallett, and I'm known as the Disciplined Trader. And I wasn't always a trader, although I have been for the last several decades. But I actually started out, had a math degree, so I was kind of always interested in the numbers and did some investing myself, but never in a serious way. I was in the nightclub business before I was in this business, and I was running one of the highest end nightclubs in the country called Park Avenue. We were actually a competitor for Studio 54. That was fun, to say the least. But I will say that it was stressful and a lot of late nights. Got tired of it after opening a club on 500 Water Street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It snowed, and I got tired of digging out my car. I jumped in my car and I headed west to San Francisco, of which I looked in the newspaper and I saw something about gold options being sold over the phone. So I said, I can sell. I think I can do that. And I understand investing, so maybe I'll do it. Well, worked there a week and I made a couple of sales. I thought this was pretty easy. Next morning in the second week, I got there and the whole place was empty. There weren't no desks, no nothing, and no paycheck for me. I said, oh my God, I was working for a scam outfit. Said, I'm going to do it right this time. So I looked up the biggest and best option firm in the country, and I wound up after 18 months running the home office of that company. In any event, that's how I got started in the trading world. And after training a lot of traders and brokers to do their job and do the best they can for their clients, I said, hey, I'm going to do this myself. I wound up writing several books on trading plans, and now my passion is to help traders pass the prop trading, where you can trade somebody else's money and get 90% of the profit. Unbelievable. So that's my passion now. This is how I came to where I am, and I'm really excited to give you a little bit about my background. Anyway, great talking to you.
Isn't that great? Thank you. Thank you so much.
I should probably leave it there and go home.
No, you got something else for us. I can just tell this idea of their money, your profits, the pros and cons of prop trading, we got to know more. So I want to introduce Norman Hallett to you guys.
All right. Well, I'm hoping you can see my certificates of funding.
I see it.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, everybody, for taking your time to be here, because really, as every birthday I have, I appreciate time more than anything else, more and more. And so I'm always looking for the easy, I'm going to say it, I look for the easy way and the quickest way out, as long as it has credibility, been tested, and so on. I'm showing you this particular screen first because I wanted to just show you that I know from whence I'm talking about. I've just gotten into this whole prop trading thing about a year ago, and then I decided, why not, instead of just talking about it, why not go ahead and pass it a couple of times, start making money on their money. I mean, the idea here is that these firms will actually give you the money to trade, and it's probably just pooled money, but you have $150,000 or 50,000 or 100,000. This with the top step I had, but I've passed all of the credentials. I'm making money now in these accounts, and when I make a trade and make money, 90% of it goes to me. So how can these people give you the money to trade as long as you pass the qualifications? How can they do that and give you 90%? And I'm going to go through a lot of that, and about how you can actually join me and start making money from their effort of their money. It's just, I'm laughing because when I first heard of this, I said, what is that? What are we talking about here? Is this real? And I'm understanding now why they do what they do, where they get their money from, and why it's such an unbelievable opportunity for a trader who knows what he or she are doing. I mean, let's get into it, but I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of proof there. First of all, just write my email address down. These I tend to go rapid, and I tend to, people have questions afterwards. And if you do, just email me directly. This is my direct email. If you abuse me, I'll block you, but normally I just respond immediately because I know you're interested. And that's what, listen, I have what I got. I want you to have the same kind of freedom that I have. And especially if you're trading at $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, that kind of money, when you're approaching the futures market or the forex market or the options market, they may tell you that's enough, but there's too much stress involved in that to, unless you really pay attention to the mental and emotional, which I support that you do. That's really the heart of what we do at the Disciplined Trader for years, and still do. If you're not a disciplined trader and can't follow a trading plan, none of this is going to work. But if you do, if you are that person, and you believe that your short money is part of the cause of the stress, this is the best thing since sliced bread. In fact, those that are trading big money also do this. Why risk your own money, especially if you're retired, have a retirement fund, and you want to take some of that and risk it? Why do that? Put it in something safe, and trade with their money if you're a good trader. Okay, enough about that. The dream is involved in here, and I really believe that, especially if you're somebody who has a smaller account, or you're a senior that really shouldn't be risking your own money in speculation. This is the answer, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I talked about the title of this being the pros and cons of prop trading. They call it proprietary trading, but I'm going to, I kind of changed it to the 3 keys of passing. I mean, most people who are on this presentation know what prop trading is, and really is simply they give you the money to trade if you can pass an evaluation. Some firms have a 2-step evaluation where you got to do what you got to do twice. Others have a 1-step, but they make the rules a little bit different. I prefer the 1-step. If you're good at this, why have to prove yourself twice? But I'm going to show you a couple of the top firms that I've kind of showed them to you already, Top Step and Apex, and why I believe I'm tending toward Apex more recently, because it's only got 1 step, and they're a company like Top Step that has been paying and doing this for years. There's a lot of companies out there that I'm just not sure of. I don't see much. They don't have much depth. I'm a real sleuth when it comes to sitting here and recommending somebody to you, or even doing it for myself. So I picked these 2 firms as 2, and I think Apex is the premier firm for me from a credibility standpoint, and the fact that they pay out 90%. And I've seen the pay. I've gotten the check, so I know it's real. Okay, so a little bit about me real quickly. I told you a little bit about with that video. I really appreciate you playing that. It was kind of fun to do. And you other presenters out there, come on. It was fun to do. And I think people really want to know who you are and where are you coming from? And hey, it's my birthday. I can say anything I want today. How well with as long as it's true. I've had 43 years of experience doing this. I started in 1979. Wow, that's when I walked into that large firm and decided to go with the largest option firm in the country. And I've written several books. I'm because of my math and my particular background of proving things before I do it. Really liked the idea of creating trading plans, and so for about 10 years, I was the person known in the professional ranks as writing trading plans for people, for professional traders, mostly institutional traders, and I'm into simple trading plans, very, very simple. If you ever saw my screen, you wouldn't see a whole lot of lines on it. I'll show you a little bit about that in a second. But I've written several books. This is the latest one. I think it's still available on Amazon and other places. I worked for Payne Webber for a while. I'll show you that name because it's the one that you probably recognize. I was a commodity specialist for them until I realized that besides the trading, they wanted me to also get out there and sell. And I wasn't really much of a sales guy, so I was with them a couple of years. They actually bought me from, at that time, they were giving contracts to people that were successful in trading, and they bought me from International Trading Group, which is that option firm I talked about. After all of this, working with somebody else, I said, I'm going to do this myself. Couldn't think of a better name than my last name, so picked the Hallett Group, cleared through my own IB, and I was a commodity trading advisor. At that time, I was taking accounts of $250,000 and more, and I was getting 20% of, not 90%, but 20% of what I earned. They were bigger numbers than we're dealing with here, but if you think trading your own money is stressful, try trading somebody else's individual money when you have to talk to people every day. Very, very stressful. Why didn't you make money for me today? And so I decided, hey, it's time for me to, I know enough to really help some other traders do their thing, especially in a simple way. And so, and I combine that with the fact that that most traders 90% lose, and the reason 90% lose, I believe, is because 90% of traders pay very little or no attention to the mental and emotional capacity, either to ruin them or to help them. And so the disciplined trader for years, for the first 15, 16 years, was dedicated solely to helping traders to be mentally and emotionally fit to trade. The problem is I was getting traders mentally and emotionally fit to lousy trading plans, so I started building what we call simple trading plans. And I'm going to give you a preview of what I use. One of those simple trading plans to earn those banners, and that's what I want to offer to you at the end with a crazy guarantee that you'll drop off your seat when you see it. But let's get into what it looks like as far as this is Apex. I'm going to focus on them. There are other firms, as I say, but why hop around? I did the homework on with the credibility of these firms. Talk to their senior staff and so on. So I know these firms exist and that they do a good job. Here's what they offer. There's actually, you see 25,000, 50, 75, 100, 150, 250. There's even a 300. But I wanted to show you all of them. And I think mistakenly, most small traders, those traders that say have the $5,000 and $10,000 accounts, somehow they go to the $50,000, which is not the best deal here, and it's not the best deal on a couple of ways. But mainly, you've got to make $3,000 before you lose $2,500. In fact, as you trade this $50,000 in your test account, if you do make $1,000 and it's now you have 51,000, now you can't go below 3,000 below 51,000. So originally when you started with 50,000 and you didn't want to cross 47,500, okay, because that would break the threshold of 2,500. Once you make money, that becomes the new norm. And so if you made $1,000 in a day, then all of a sudden you can't go below 48,500. I think you catch my drift. but I won't go through this firm has very few rules. They let you trade any futures contract you want. You can take on in a $50,000 account as many as 10 contracts. I don't know who would take that on. If you're taking on micros, they'll let you. These are crazy numbers. I don't know why they. I think they want to excite you about the potential. But why do this when you can do this right here? This is costing you, and incidentally, as you test, you've got to pay them $167 a month. Right now, I have a coupon they gave me for my people for an 80% discount on this. So if you've been thinking about doing this, and so we're talking here's something on the neighborhood of $50 or $30 a month. Okay, if you want to test for the 50, but I'd rather see you test for the 150. Why? Because look, you've got a lot more room on the downside. Okay, you've got twice as much room, even though you're trading 3 times as much money. And your profit goal is 9,000 before you lose 5,000. Okay, from the closing high. I think you understand what I'm saying. Again, an absurd number of contracts they allow you to trade that you'll never reach. But the idea is that when you've got, this is the important number. If you trade, and this is important, if you trade a $150,000 account as if it were a $50,000 account, okay, then all of a sudden you can manage and never really get close to this drawdown and keep yourself out of stress, because it's stress that's gonna hurt you in anything that you do in life, but especially in trading. So one of the ways of forgetting about stress or putting that in the back seat is to trade a $150,000 account as if it was a $50,000 or $60,000 account. Okay, so I want to just give you that. And instead of paying $297, I have a coupon where you'd pay $60 a month. So use that email address that I gave you, and I'll send you that coupon if you want, no matter if you do business with me in any other way or not, just for being here. I like the 250 and the 50, and you see I have already passed the 150. I've already passed the 50, and I'm working right now. I'm about a week and a half away from passing the 250, which you have to make 15,000 before 6,500. Again, this looks like a pretty good spread. That's not as exciting as some of the other spreads. But the fact is that when you trade the 250, you want to trade it like a $100,000 account. So I hope I'm getting that across. Trade small in this, so you're not threatening yourself. One other thing I want to say, and I'll spend my time here doing this. I want to make sure about my time. One of the things that I want to talk to you about Apex is what this really means. The trailing stop. Okay, the trailing threshold. The way they measure it. Most firms, other firms, not most, but some firms base it on P&L, closed equity. In my example, I talked about going from 50,000 to 51,000 one day. You close the trade, trading is over. Now you still have $2,500, but it's below the new high of 51,000. But your threshold is the same, 2,500. Apex does it differently. They judge this trailing threshold on the basis of open trade equity that you didn't take. Let me explain. If you took on a position, you're testing for the $50,000 account, which just means you start trading and you're testing for you make $1,000. You put on a position in the S&P, and it's up $1,000. You don't take the $1,000, but it's up $1,000. You put a break-even stop in, because you know that you really feel it's going higher, and it doesn't. It comes back down. It hits your stop, and trading is over. Well, at the end of the day, you didn't lose any money. You were at $50,000. However, they're counting that $1,000 that you didn't take against the trailing threshold, meaning that now this trailing threshold is $1,500 below the 50,000, not what it was before, because they judge it on open trade equity. Okay, that's important. That's important. It's important. It's an important disadvantage to Apex. However, I'm the guy that writes trading plans. I know how to defend myself against this. In fact, use this literally to my advantage. I'm going to show you how I do that. But and I'm going to show it to you now. But I wanted to just give you this particular screen, just to say that if you do test and you're not with me, because I'm going to offer you where we do this together. Okay, then I did it. I've got the program to do it. I want to do this together with you on one-on-one. Okay. So, so I want you to understand that it's time to think big. It's time to think big. Okay. So 150 to 250, please don't play around with the 50. It's not worth it. It's much easier to pass the 150 and the 250 than it is, and you might as well learn to trade bigger money. That's where you can get where you want to go faster. Remember I said faster and easier. Okay, that's enough of this screen. We can talk about, I want to give you the 3 keys, whether you never see me again. I want to give you the 3 keys that I believe helped me, that I know helped me to pass this with ease and consistency. Okay, the first is a frequent, reliable A+ trigger. Okay, what does that mean? An A+ trigger is tested to jumpstart. In other words, you want a trigger that when you put it on, the market moves in your favor initially, most of the time. And when I say most of the time, I mean about 67%, 2/3 of the time. Now, there's many benefits to having an A+ trigger. When you get that jump start, okay, you've got scalping opportunities, which we're going to take advantage of when we test for the prop trading. It's a very, even if I've never been a scalp trader. I've written programs for people with scalp, but never been a scalp trader. I'm a scalp trader. So part of me is a scalp trader when it comes to passing this. Why? Because of what I told you. If the market, you got to learn to take a profit on the way up in a long trade instead of putting your stop in and letting it come down. You'll do that on the other positions, but half the positions that you take, you're going to be using an A+ trigger, and you're going to have it jump. And when that jump occurs, you take a short profit. I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, and you're not starting from a deficit. Okay, when you have it from a trigger that moves in your favor, there's nothing more stressful than putting on a trigger that you feel good about working, and boom, 2/3 of the time or half the time it goes the wrong way. You want an A+ trigger that jumps. Whether it continues, I don't, that's another story. But I want movement in my favor early, 2/3 of the time. Okay, and you got to test for that. You got to look back for that. You want something, you got to look back at your previous trading and so on. We can go through testing some other time, or when I work with you one-on-one. But you need a reliable trigger. Okay, again, I said frequent, reliable A+ trigger. I told you what A+ is. Needs a jump start. Reliable trigger means 2/3 of the time it's got to work. You pull the trigger with confidence, no hesitation. When you have a trigger that you've tested, okay, you've gone back and taken a look at it, you've looked at it in the sim mode. When you see that, and you see that it works 67% of the time over a few weeks, you know that there's confidence, and you will not hesitate to pull the trigger. There's nothing worse than knowing that you should have pulled the trigger and didn't. Then you start chasing stuff, you start revenge trading. No. If you have an A+ reliable trigger, you're going to build that confidence. You won't hesitate. You're going to take it, and you'll know you're going to lose 3/4 of the time. I mean, 1/4 of the time, or 1/3 of the time. But you know you're going to take that scalp 2/3 of the time. So frequent is another thing. You don't want to test your patience. That in coaching traders for years, one of the worst issues is that a trader can't. The trigger is not coming up. And you kind of look at some B+, B- triggers because you want in. I mean, you can't make money unless you're in the trade. You start talking yourself into less than an A+ trigger. So if you can find an A+ trigger that's frequent, you won't have the problem of lack of patience. Your patience won't be tested. Okay, so you need, and I've got several of them. I'm going to show you one of them today. Don't go out and use it, because I also show you in the program that I'm going to offer you when not to take the trigger. There are some things that we do when not to take the trigger to even push this figure up even higher than 2/3. But I'm going to show it to you just as an example. Okay, so frequent, reliable trigger. Okay, I just want to stop right here and just ask: Are you with me on this? Are you getting? Is there excitement coming? Just somebody in the chat, give me some action here to let me know that I'm just not talking to Sherry and myself. And I love talking to Sherry.
Yeah, we have a question for you already.
What is the question? I'll take it right here.
When you lose money, they have the loss, right? Excuse me.
When you, yeah, they take the loss.
And
But you,
this was from the screen where you were explaining the programs.
right.
And then the other one was, can you choose the platform you trade on, or must you use their platform?
That's a good question. The platform that Apex wants you to use is Ninja Trader. I never used Ninja Trader, but if you've been using any of the major platforms, go ahead and work with Ninja Trader. It's no cost to you, and you can use it. I learned it in a day, you know, enough to do some trading, okay, to start trading. And I really never learned much past that. But most of them will allow 2 or 3 different, but Apex, I believe, I know that Top Step, I started with TradeStation. That's what I used for decades. They allowed me to use it. All of a sudden, they said I can't. I had to use Ninja Trader. So I went over to Apex, and because they were one of the reasons I resisted Apex is because they wanted Ninja Trader, and so that was so. Yeah, take a look at each one, but as long as you've been using a major one, it's very easy to learn. Don't let that stop you. Okay, do not let that stop you. And yes, you're using their money, and if you lose and break, you pay. You see, I talked about the monthly fees, okay, which are 80% less than this if you email me and I'll send you the link. So, but they said you're paying this monthly as you test. It only really should take you a month or 2 months. I passed it in 10 days, the 50,000, and I passed this in 20 days, 21 days, and the 250 is going to take me, I think, 26 or 28 days. I haven't passed it yet, so I don't know. But I'll show you how I do that. So don't worry about these fees so much, especially at the lower prices that I'm talking about. But if you blow out your account, if you do something, if you reach the threshold, or if you come all the way down in other words, if you're down 22,000, I mean, why? You got to come all the way back to even and then make the 3,000. That may be a time to reset. Okay, and reset means $80. You got for $80 you reset and start over again. So there's 2 fees that these people are collecting. Okay, they're collecting the monthly and they're collecting the reset fees. So again, if you are a person who worries about that, you may not be the person for this because we're looking at bigger fish here. Well, especially if I'm talking about 80%. If you're testing for the 150 and you're paying $60 a month, you still have to pay 80 if you reset. But if you do this right, you know, maybe you'll have 1 or 2 resets if you're, you know, if you're not very bad at following things. But after a while, you'll slap yourself in the face and say, hey, you know, let's use some of Norman's meditations and make this happen, because it's the mental and emotion that'll get in your way, not the process, because I already have the process. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Let's go through. So we've got key 1, and I'll get to the questions again, or save until the end. Key number 2. 14 years ago, he was the good twin, so you're working with the other twin. But you want to take at least 2 contracts when you enter. Again, in defense of that situation with the open trade equity, okay? The first contract is for scalping, okay? The benefit is it minimizes the drawdown, as I've explained it to you. If you have that nice trigger that gives you nice movement initially in the first few minutes, first few seconds of a trade, then boom, you can take that on the way up, which reduces that past drawdown that you may have had before. But as I explained to you, they judge it on open trade equity. Okay. Now, when I take that scalp, I immediately move the protective stop when I initially moved it that was below even to break even on the remaining positions. I'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. But I wanted to give you just look. I have the process to do it, so I just want to give you the in case you never see me again, some of the things that you need to do in your trading plan. Okay, contract again. The first contract is for scalping. The second benefit is it capitalizes on that jumpstart trigger that you now have because I've forced you to have it or to look for it and if you don't have it, find one, because that makes a huge difference in trading. Okay, if you can get a trigger that moves nicely just in the first seconds or minutes of a trade, there's a lot of things that you can do, not only in defense but in staying out and getting more profit. Okay, so it minimizes the drawdown, it capitalizes on the jump start. Then the second contract in the minimum of 2 contracts, if I'm asking you to at least have 2 contracts, so let's talk about just 2 contracts. 1 contract I call a runner. It's for expansion. Okay, listen, we're not in here for scalps. You can go crazy. I still am not a scalper, but I am here because it opens up the door for the expansion, okay, for the other half that can do the lewd and lascivious, as I call it. And we have specific processes to hold on to to defend yourself as a runner, defend the profit as the running going up. Again, a defense against the way they judge drawdowns. Okay, so we're making we have a trading plan that's going to work in your favor. Okay, so it gives you the opportunity, and again, you got to defend against that growing profit. But the big thing is, and of course, minimize drawdown. But I want to just say a word about the primary benefit that I haven't mentioned, and that's a common dilemma. Again, I come from, when I build trading plans, when I talk to traders, I come from a place of mental and emotional strength, and I want you to come from the same place. If you're in a trade, if you're looking to make a trade, there's always a question mark whether you want to take a quick profit or you want to let it run. Okay, those who are scalpers, what happens is when they start losing, they start saying, well, boy, I left so much on the table. I shouldn't have taken that. Look at all that I left on the table. When they start losing, they'll become a day trader. And because you got to get out of all these positions at the end of the day, incidentally. You can't carry anything over in this testing. So scalping or running. So if you're somebody who looks for the big movement all the time and are a day trader and never scalp, you want more. Then the market comes back. You don't want to be the schmuck who didn't take what it gave you. So you know it's going to go back up. It comes back down and hits your break even or a loss. You say, why didn't I take what God gave me with the scalp? So there's a dilemma that goes on with a lot of traders, and maybe it's you've experienced this trader. Should I just take it? Should I let it run? We're doing both in this, and when you do both as a religion, you always do both. When you do that, it eliminates this common dilemma. You won't be chasing trades. You won't be. So I'm really. Those twins are cute, aren't they? They're almost as cute as my brother was, and I wasn't that cute, but he was pretty cute. Anyway, the key 3. All right. Key 3 is you want to take smaller contracts and give yourself a wider range. Okay, I kind of mentioned that when I talk about trading the 250 like a $100,000 account, or trading the 150 like a $50,000 or $75,000 account, because they don't care. They don't want. There's no minimum or maximum that you can make. But so test for the biggest amount, and then use your smaller entrants and contracts to keep you safe away from that deeper. That deeper number that they allow you in the bigger contracts. Okay, I can't stress it enough. So when you take smaller contracts and give yourself a wider range, the current market volatility demands that you do this, that you need to allow a position to breathe. Okay, it prevents whipsaws, and smaller contracts allow more contracts to be initiated, and you scale out of. We show you how to do that. I mean, why be nervous with one? If you're trading a $50,000 account, you should be trading 5. You should be trading at least 5 micro contracts in there. And if you do, and you have a fast trigger, you take 2 or 3 out on that trigger. You let 2 run, and then you defend. Okay. And if you want, you could take out 2 and then leave 1 to lewd and lascivious profit. So the more contracts you can take in the back, the more you can. And another rule that I have. No matter how many contracts that you put on, take half at the scalp. Again, you take advantage of the fact that you identified an A+ frequent, reliable trigger. Okay, and if you don't have one, I've got some for you. The benefit, another defense against drawdown. Okay, when you initiate smaller contracts, you're going to take smaller losses. But because of the volatility, you can take 2 micro contracts and make $1,000 in a day. Shorting at 50 higher and selling at 50 lower in the S&P. That happens all the time. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Here's a trigger. Here's one of the triggers that we use right here. I won't describe it other than to say it's hesitating, and then there's a movement through some specific moving averages that we use. But here is a trigger that we like to use. And what I do is I take a look at the body length. I look at the body length here, and that's where I'm expecting the pop to happen to at least that point. So when I sell 2 silver contracts, this is from an old chart that I took, but if I sell 2 silver contracts, I've got more recent charts in a second. If I sell 2 silver contracts here, I'm putting my limit buy-in immediately under, and I measure this distance, the body, and then I extend that body, and that's where I take the scalp. Now, if the market comes out and starts to hesitate, maybe I'll take 70% of that, but I want that a majority of that scalp, 70 to 100% of that distance. And then as soon as I take that scalp, I move the stop that I had on both positions to break even on the second. And look what happens here, you know. And in this particular case, I can't explain the system. That's a whole nother thing. I'll explain it to you one-on-one. It's a simple, as you can see. I mean, look at the chart. This is how I trade. The arrows are not there, but all I use is a moving average, and I look at price. I also have RSI underneath. I don't show it to you here, but this is how simple my charts are. Here's another version of that. You know, sometimes you wake up and the market's already here. You say, "Oh my God, I wish there's plenty of time." It's a frequent, reliable trigger. Here it is, right here. Again, very small body followed by a big body through the moving average, and you got to hear another gun here. Okay, here's a couple of losers for you. Okay, now again, it doesn't always happen. All right, here we had 3 out of 5, so you know this is a 60%. Believe me, it's a 60. You'll test it on your own. Okay, and but you want to measure this. You want to measure your risk before you put on, and I'll show you how to measure. It's easier to measure the risk. Where did you get in, and where is your stop? But what is tolerable and what isn't, I can guide you on that. But here's 2 that didn't work out. But look at the ones that did work out. Okay, so I want to show you that. Here's another. This is more recent from this month. Copper, which I really have loved trading here. Here's another, again, a small body. I like them at least. I don't like them much bigger than this. Okay. I want the market to hesitate and then move through the moving average with passion. And you can see here that it took a little while to come back, but it did give the scalp. In reality, one of the rules would have us out here in this area, but I won't describe. I don't like to, you know, if a market spends time doing, the further you move from the frequent reliable trigger, the less influence that trigger has. Yes, a lot of our people stay in it, and you know, as you get used to the system, it's very simple. You'll make your own decision on it. Here's a losing position here. Okay, here's a nice big winner that happens. So you had a nice winner and a couple of nice winners, but copper works really well. Oh, let's see here if there was anything that again I like to. Well, here's a low. Okay, here's a low. Okay, here's the testing of that low, but it's at a higher RSI, which even though the price is lower, the momentum is not there. This thing's ready to turn. I'm looking for a signal. I get my signal, and doing this exercise here helps me with my position sizing, which is very, very big, not only in defense, but in when to be aggressive and not to be aggressive. This was an aggressive move. So if I'm trading between 2 and 6 contracts, this is a 4 probably. And look, really nice. Okay, so here's another chart. Let's see. Looks like the Nasdaq, but you can see how even a small version of it here with a small move. You got your scalp. Here's another version of it. So this is a frequent, reliable trigger. You got to use the right RS. You got to use the right moving average and so on, and they're different for different times. So I need to. I don't want to just spit them out, but they're standard. They're in the rules, and you'll know what to do. Okay. So I want to give you the offer so that we don't have much time. I'm going to take some questions, but I want to show you through this offer why if you're looking to pass this and use other people's money, and let them give you. When I got the first couple of checks, I said to myself, "Oh my God, this is real. It's real." And I've been doing this for a long time. Who put this together? Look, they are valuing the fact that most traders are going to lose. 90% of the people who try to do this, it doesn't work. And if they do, they start trading with their money and they blow out, and they've got to if you blow out a fund account, you gotta pass the test again. Okay, so you gotta stay consistent, and they know that most people just can't do it. Okay, and therefore they're sitting there collecting fee after fee, restarts, monthly fees, and that's it. Once you pass, there's only one small fee, and that's it. I think when I passed the 50, for instance, I could either pay $80 a month, and you don't even pay for the data. You pay 50. I could pay not $80 a month, or I could give them $140 and never pay anything again. So if I'm confident, then they know that, and they do that because they know that most people will, even some of the people who don't belong having passed, but they did because they got lucky, they're gonna pay them $140 and then leave, or they're gonna just pay 80, 80, 80. You know, so they're looking at the fees. What's the best way that they can make and still give you a golden opportunity? So this is not for you if you can't be disciplined. You know, and it's not for you if you can't think a little bit bigger. Okay, here's what I use the loaded gun simple trading plan. I tweaked it a little bit for prop traders, and we can work on that one-on-one when I show it to you. Again, it's something that you're going to be able to look at the 2 hours of training videos and say to yourself, is it really that simple? Okay, and they're short videos. That's 8 videos of 10 or 15 minutes. So here is what I'm offering you: a loaded gun simple trading plan. It has, this is the trading plan that I use. It has the core loaded gun trading plan, fits on one sheet of paper. That's why we call it simple trading plan. All the rules fit on one sheet of paper. I give you the nuances. I'm not going to describe the nuances other than to say there's 7 of them, and there's very short, 7-10 minutes long. And they're things that you can do. They're optional rules that you can adjust because of your personality. Okay, if you're a person that's challenged with patience and you got it, there's something that I want to show you that you can adjust the plan just a little bit to make it fit you, because the more it fits you and your normal personality, the more you're going to be able to follow it without, you know, jumping off it. Nobody understands this like I do, because my heart is in the mental and emotional, even though listen, I'm dual purpose. I write trading plans, but I know that you need the nuances. You can use the nuances to help you to follow it. Enough said about that. We have a private Facebook group, and we talk about, if you're not into Facebook, I can show you how to be anonymous, but it's not a necessary thing, something that's a little bit extra. And we have monthly get-togethers. It's coming this next Wednesday, a week from yesterday. I think I'm going to start making it twice a month, but right now it's monthly. We all get together, everybody that's trading it. We all have our little boxes on Zoom, and we talk about what's going on with our trading and some of the things. One of the suggestions from one of the traders who's a concert pianist, who is who's performed for thousands. He's now a music teacher. He trades on the side, and a terrific trader that made a suggestion. I tested it. Now that's improved the plan even more. Look, we are in this together. We are here to let somebody else give us the money and let us make 90% of the profit. That's what we're here for. So the monthly get-togethers, they're updates. We share experiences, and if you're not there for them, that's fine. You'll get the recording. Plus, you'll have, listen, you have email access to me, so you know, you've got questions, you can shoot them to me. But these recordings really are good, and getting there, you know, live is terrific. So I really want you to do that if you can. But you got the plan. We're going to be working one-on-one together. But here's some important words from Ted, who is now a professional trader. He said the loaded gun is simple to understand and set up with easy to follow rules that work in any market and will work on any time frame. It takes me less than 5 minutes to look at all the markets I trade and make my plan for the day. First, test the loaded gun and trade it in sim to build your confidence, then go live. Okay, examine all of the included nuances and then test them to see if they improve your returns. After that, most importantly, follow the rules. They're simple, and join the small percentage of traders who consistently make money in the market. I mean, now he's advising people, Ted, instead of just being a guy that takes advice. Okay, so final point, no system is 100% perfect, so you'll have some losing trades. Keep your risk low. if you're trading correctly, you'll have many more winners than losers. So I wanted to give you Ted's words, because he's a terrific guy out of Austin, Texas. Okay, and now a terrific trader. Your processes are usable by every trader for every trading style to guide each of us in creating our own personalized system. Again, those nuances help you personalize. The core rules are the core rules, no breaking them, but there are some little nuances. You can stay in the trade when the basic system tells you to get out without adding much risk, those kinds of things. The tools have helped me increase my profits, win ratio, confidence, and my job satisfaction. That's why I chose this particular testimonial, because job satisfaction, he's comfortable, he's having a good time. You should have a good time as a trader. And as a full-time trader, it's been the greatest benefit to him. Alan, he's a real estate developer, but you know, real estate goes on and off. He gets on to trading, then he gets back to real estate. Now he's back to trading. Real estate is soft again. So Alan knows what he's doing. Okay, and here's Peter. I'm not sure if you read this, but I'm now using Loaded Gun exclusively. I thought my problem was psychological when in fact my system just didn't work. And again, the simplifying the system and the fact that the system includes some of the psychological edges, this is what Peter was referring to, okay? And he can't thank me enough. I can't thank him enough for braving it and stepping forward. You know, there's a line in the sand that you're gonna have to draw and saying, look, this sounds almost too good to be true. Norman's been around for 4 decades. He's all around the internet. It must be true. He showed me that, you know, you're gonna have to say, I'm gonna give it a shot. Okay, so I want you to think about that. This is something, I'm showing you this particular, because it happened recently, just a couple of months ago. He says he's traded Loaded Gun, took the attached trade and on my Top Step account. He was using Top Step, and it was a very profitable trade. Look at a nice trade here. Won't go through the traders, but what I wanted to show you was that this was on a Saturday, okay, 12/10. This was the next Thursday, 5 days later. He's already trading the system and making money. So I show you this because it really shows you that this is a simple process to understand. You just have to know the rules and the elements. But here's my big bonus for you, okay? I want to give you unlimited one-on-one coaching for the first 90 days. Look at the system, look at the videos, meet with me. Let's talk about which nuances make sense for you, and then let's meet again if you need to. Or most people meet 1 or 2 times with me, but there are some that are new to trading, for instance, that I've met 4 or 5 times over the course of the 90 days. But that's all it takes. As soon as you invest in Loaded Gun, you'll get an email with a calendar link. You'll be able to schedule your first appointment with me and all subsequent appointments, or for one of my assistants. In this particular case, I've got room on my calendar. People who respond to this today are going to get me, okay? We'll work together. And I'll proceed to learn a little bit about you, advise you some of the quick start procedures that you can get you off to a quick start with your new purchase, okay? And as you perfect running the plan, I'm going to be there for you. I'll be your coach to fall back on, one-on-one with me, you know. And listen, I make your life easy. I know that there's some struggling, and I never say, "What a schmuck." No, I say, I understand that. I did the exact same thing. Now I don't, because now I want to make money. And I drew a line in the sand. I crossed over it, and I said, I'm making a plan that not only is a great plan that is tested before, but I'm going to adjust that plan so that people who purchase the plan not only can understand it quickly, but can start making money with their money and not risk any of their own money, okay? The biggest challenge I'm going to have with the smaller accounts is getting you to think bigger. Please don't test for the 50. Test for the 150 and 250, okay? Put it in your mind, you're worth it, okay? Here's the second bonus, and I put this in because it's so important that you get the mental and emotional capabilities out in the front that you have, okay? I want to give you a 30-minute one-on-one Zoom session. They take 45 usually, or an hour. It's not STEM, whatever it takes. If you got a hard head, maybe it's going to take 55 to 60 minutes. I want to give you a one-on-one session with Tisha. Tisha is my wife. She's the one that turned my head around. She turns all of our clients' heads around. She is one of the top, if not the top, subconscious trainer in the world. Okay, so and you'll see why when you work with her. You'll work with her one-on-one, and she will eliminate the primary mental and emotional issue that's getting in the way of your trading, whether it's FOMO, okay, fear of missing out, whether you're hesitating to pull a trigger, lack of patience, overcoming losses, fear and greed, revenge trading, over trading, whatever it is, we'll identify, Tisha will identify that with you, and then you will leave you'll do a meditation. She will do a specific meditation using your name and your issues that you've talked to her about. Put that in the meditation, record the meditation, and you'll get that to use before you start trading so that the issue becomes a non-issue. I want you to have this. So please, the pricing I'm going to give you is good through the weekend, okay? But this bonus, because Tisha's calendar is tight. I want you to have this. This is good for today, okay? You need to act on this today, otherwise this bonus is going to vanish, okay? I want you to have this, okay? So the entire pass the evaluation offer. So loaded gun simple trading plan, the core loaded gun trading plan, you get the nuances, the Facebook group if you want to be in it. You gotta come to the get-togethers. They're fun. And listen, you can tell I have a sense of humor. A lot of people, we're not there to have fun, but it's nice to have fun while you're learning and asking your questions, okay? And you can get the recording if you're not there. Okay, I'm going to give you the one-on-one coaching for 90 days. I want you to nail this. I want you to nail this. There's no reason why you can't follow my footsteps. Stand on my shoulders and let's do this, okay? The 30-minute one-on-one resistance elimination session, I feel like saying if you do it for nothing else, do it. This is worth the price of admission. Tisha charges $500 to professional traders for this session. I'm giving it to you, okay? I'm giving it to you. If you act today on this, if you can draw the line in the sand, and you want to stop the struggle, work with me on this, work with Tisha on the mental part, and let's get going, okay? Here is my personal guarantee. I want you to sit down for this, okay? I am so confident that you're following the loaded gun simple trading plan will result in you getting funded by your prop firm so that you risk their money and not yours, and yet receive 90% of the profit that you generate. Just share your trading experience with me, that you followed the simple rules and it didn't work for you, and I will refund your purchase, plus I'll add $500 for your trouble. I am so confident. I'm so confident that you're following the loaded gun simple trading plan will result in you getting funded by your prop firm so that you risk their money and not yours, yet still receive 90% of the profit that you generate. Just share your trading experience with me, that you followed the simple rules and it didn't work for you, and I will refund your purchase plus $500 for your trouble. That's a guarantee. Why? I'm confident. I've done it. Others are doing it. Why not you? Okay. So here's my offer. I want you to have the core nuance Facebook monthly meetings. Okay. That's the package of the loaded gun simple trading plan. We sell it right now for $19.97. It's going up in June to $29.97, but $19.97 it's offered right now. I want to give you unlimited one-on-one coaching for 90 days. I put $2,500, and that's 3 years ago's pricing for working with me like that. Listen, numbers are numbers. The value of it is at least $2,500, and then of course the $500. That's something that you can put your finger on, because that's exactly what she charges. But I want you to have it as the vanishing bonus. Okay, there's a total value if you add all this up. Okay, but the $19.97 is really what I sell loaded gun for, without the bonuses. Well, without the second bonus, okay? I want to take $1,000 off that. It's my birthday, okay? I'm taking $1,000 off it. It's $997, okay? All you have to do is go to theirmoneyyourprofit.com, theirmoneyyourprofit.com, and you won't see Tisha's my offer there on that page. It's something that I came up with my birthday, but the offer, her offer, that second bonus ends at midnight. So if you're going to do this, do it now. And if you don't do it, if you do it later, that's fine too, and it'll be great. But believe me, but it's nice to eliminate your major issue if that has been preventing you. And everybody has a major. And the fantastic part is that when you eliminate the mental and emotional in the primary, it's like dominoes. All of a sudden, you also won't be impatient, because now you have confidence. It turns a lot of the other things around that are the minor things that added up to the fear and greed or whatever issues you would work with Tisha on it. I want you to have that. Use the code their money. Okay, that's going to get you the discount. So their money, yourprofit.com, and then use the coupon code their money. I want to show you one other testimonial that came in a couple of days ago. I think it's got the date on it already, the 15th, so it's already a week ago, 8 days ago. Look what he said. I threw his name out here. I put his name because he gave me the permission, but I didn't want to. I'm not going to use his name. It's privacy, okay? But he was doing it through the Forex market. This system works on Forex. There are some prop firms that use Forex. I would rather see you use the futures because it's much more powerful. And generally, people go to Forex because they don't have a lot of money. They'll let you set up an account for $2,000 or $3,000, even $500. Get out of that head. Think bigger. Think bigger. Let this be your stepping stone to thinking bigger. So he said to me, he entered this Euro Aussie combination, and in 15 minutes he paid for the course in one trade, and he paid more than you're paying. Okay, he paid for a course in one trade, and he's buying me a beer. Oh, his name is Clark. At least you see his first name, not Kent, even though I call him Clark Kent. And he even showed the you can't see it sideways, but this is one of those triggers that we've shown you. Look at this movement right here. Anyway, I wanted to show you that it just takes one trade to pay for this when you're doing this right, and you're using their money. That's unbelievable. Okay, so here's the offer for you. We've got about 6 or 7 minutes for questions. Love to take any that you have. So
I put those links up for you. I put them in the chat for everybody. And Paul is asking. So let me just read everything Paul said, and then you should pick what you can. He wanted to know, what does reset mean when you were showing the programs? And he said, we can just trade stocks, right? Because I don't do options. And then he also said, if you lose money past their trailing threshold, do they ever let you try again, or do they ban you for life? And then he asked, you have 30 days to reach their profit level and pass their test, right?
Oh, no, there's no time limit on passing the test. Yeah, in fact, the first time I did the $50,000, the first one I tested for 50,000, maybe it was 100,000 Top Step. I didn't even trade it for 3 weeks. It was just sitting there, you know. And then they billed me again, and reminded me that I had to do it because I was doing so many other things. So they'll let you pay 2 years of monthly fee. There's no time limit.
They like that. Matter of fact, they want you to take as long as possible, right?
As long as you want. So it's my job to scrunch that time. But you know, the thing is, when you're paying only with that discount that I mentioned, if you're paying $60 for a $150,000 account a month, it's not that much of a motivation to do it quickly. But what you want to do is start getting paid and qualify and start using that. So yeah, I don't know what the line was on the chart. Can you read that? What was the first question?
The first question was, what does reset mean?
Oh, reset means that once you blow out your account, okay, in Apex, in Top Step, there are a number of rules that'll blow out your account. Apex doesn't have those kinds of rules. For instance, if you leave a trade on past 4:15 and forget to take it off, or you leave and you blow that, boom, you broke a rule, you got to start from the beginning. Or if you take on 5 contracts instead of 6, because they limit you to 5 contracts, and you put it on, oops, done. You blew out the account. So they only may make you pass once, and they measure the drawdown a little bit, but those rule breaking things can get in your way too. So I've done the homework. Apex, I believe, is the one. Plus I've got the 80% discount for you. That's actually good for another few days. But they run it's a special that they're running that they give me because I've passed and so on. So they like me to refer other people. So in any event, that's
why we put your email in. They have to email you for that code for the Apex account, right?
Yes. Okay. Well, the Apex, we're not. Yes. I'll just all you get right. Email me. You saw my email. Sherry put it up there. Just email me. It's a big long thing. I can't type it here. I'll just send it to you. I won't bug you. Hey, come on, do it. Like I said, I'm not a very good salesman, but I do want you in this with me if you want to do this. And who wouldn't want to do this? Look, I've given you the guarantee. If you follow the trading plan, I know you're going to have success. If
All right,
not, I'll give
here's
you
a
money
good one
back
for you,
plus
Norman.
500.
Here's a good one. Ezra wants to know, and I think I understand. The $9.97 is a one-time fee for you to teach them how to do the loaded gun simple trading plan, right?
That is correct. For the 997. It's the one-time fee. It's not an annual fee. I'm going to
It's
teach
not a
you the
monthly
system.
fee either.
Yeah, the 90 days that I talk about, the one-on-one, is I want you to know that I got your back for 90 days. Okay, and again, it won't take more than 1 or 2 meetings. Mostly it's just the one meeting, but then 2 or 3. I've had some people go 6 meetings. Really take advantage of it, and they're asking questions that they use. If you shoot me an email with a question, it may not take a meeting. Shoot me an email. Hey, is this thing? Is this really a signal or not? I will shoot a little video for you for 3 or 4 minutes. It's so easy to do, and I'll send you the video. So
Yeah.
I'm there to communicate with you. Have access to me. Okay, so that's what it's all about. Yeah, it's a one-time fee. So don't let. I don't want money to stop you here. Let's earn your money with their money. It's like the most golden thing you can do. They know that most traders are going to fail. That's why they do it. They just want those reset fees. They want the monthly fees and so on and so forth. They want you to. And what I didn't show you is that it's important to have, I think, if you're going to build a long-term business out of this, which you should be, you should have 3 or 4 of these accounts that you pass, like I'm doing. I've already passed 3. I've got a 4th one coming. Once that happens, I can be more aggressive with 1 or 2 of the accounts, because if I blow it out, I'm still getting income on the other ones. So you got to think of it as a business. Okay, I want to show you everything I got. Okay, so yes, 997 is the one-time fee.
And he says, once you pass, what happens next? You get busy, right?
Well, the most important thing is they send you one of those banners that I showed you that you can put on a T-shirt. But that's the most important. But the second most important thing is that they will ask you, what do you want to do now? They set you up with exactly the same parameters that you tested with. It's the same parameters, and they'll say if you pass the 150, they'll say $120 a month is the fee. $120 a month. That's all you have to pay. The data is free. Everything is free. $120 a month. That's your fee. Or they'll let you pay $220 right then and there and never have another fee for as long as you're collecting their money. I chose the latter. Okay. So that's what happens. And then you trade, and they one more detail is that twice a month you're allowed to request your money. So from the 1st to the 5th of the month you can request how much you want out of your winnings, and they'll pay it to you on the 15th. And then from the 15th to the 20th, you can also request money. They'll pay you on the 1st of the month. So Apex is one of the few firms that pay you twice a month. Okay, so
nice.
It's all about getting paid after you pass.
There you go. And you still, okay, so Ezra was still wanting to just double check that and I answered him, the monthly fee is charged by Apex to have the account, right?
That's correct.
And you can get it for 80% off when you email Norman for the code, right?
Yes. I mean, I think here's what you should do. Whether you go with me, and why wouldn't you want to adopt what I just, there are rules in anything. I know how to do it. I want to show you how to do it. But why wouldn't you just grab one right now and think about whether you're even going to use it or not for 80%? Spend $60.
Yeah, see if you can pass, right? See if you can pass.
Yeah, email me. Let me send you the $80% off. Grab one, and then think about what you've just done. And if it's not what you wanted to do, just tell them you don't want to be, you're out of it and they won't charge you again. Or play with it, start to trade and see what happens. I mean, for $60 a month, or at least the first, give it a shot. I think that once you're in this arena, you're going to see it's not like it's not a crazy thing. They're doing it. I'm getting the checks. You should be getting the checks too. So I want to show you how to do it.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. Oh, here, Darren would like to know, when you take out 900 pounds, does a further $100 also come out for them? Can you not withdraw for 6 months? Oh, do you have to withdraw on a certain schedule, or can you leave it in for 6 months?
You can leave it in as long as you want, and
they probably like it better that way,
what you
right?
want. Yeah, and I'm learning that actually as I go along, as I pass bigger and bigger accounts. Each one has, in other words, in the $50,000 account, you've got to start trading and trade it up to at least 51,600. It's some arbitrary number like that. And then after that is the profit that you can take. So they want a little bit of cushion. You can't take all your profit out. You can take anything over $51,600 in the $50,000 account. So all of these details are just if they're stopping you, they're blinding you from the truth. And the truth is that if you can take a large account and trade it like a small account and follow the rules that I give you, you'll be collecting checks. And I'm guaranteeing that for you.
Okay, so the order in which things should happen should be: get your loaded gun simple trading plan if you feel confident. I mean, if this is exciting you, you should get this now.
Mm-hmm.
You should email Norman for the code, and then you should go ahead and register. You should not register first and then go with Norman, right?
Well, you can do that. You know, not everybody, maybe a woman out there who was married to a guy named Norman and got a divorce and would never work for a guy named Norman. But whatever your issue is, clear your mind and say, this is real. This guy sounds like I can trust him. He's giving me a guarantee. Let's do it. So yes, lock in your thing, and you want to do it today because you really do want to work with Tisha. And then, the next thing you do before the day's over is grab one of those things for $60 or, grab the 150 and look at it and learn the rules. They're very simple with Apex and get going. You're worth it. You're worth it.
That's awesome. All right, we've just got several people. It's apextraderfunding.com, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if you use, they may have the thing. If you use my link, you're going to get extra stuff from them. So
email Norman. It's nhallett at thedisciplinedtrader.com. If you scroll up in the chat, you'll see it. If you'll email him for the link, he'll give you everything you need so that you get extra stuff and a discount.
Right.
And Norman said, even if you don't go with his program, he'll still email you the link.
Yeah, no, I want you to do it on your own. Listen, I know how it's done. I've written books on programs, but this could be the loaded gun before I even customized it for passing the prop. It was the best training plan I've ever written. Cold. Nice. I mean, without question. Now I've even tailored it to passing this, and I'm going to work with you on it. We'll do it one-on-one for as long as you need. Let's do this. This is real. This is real.
That's fantastic.
It's real, but it's, again, it's not for everyone, because there's always doubts and so on. But until you experience it, anything, I always thought tennis was a waste of time. Now I can't get off the court. I love it so much,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Golf is the game that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to my back. The problem with golf is the first time you go out there and you hit it off the tee, you think you know what you're doing. Whoa, look at this, how easy this is.
Yeah, until tomorrow.
Reality sets in, kind of the opposite of prop trading.
Well, I really appreciate this. Guys, if you have any more questions, you need to, I'm gonna put it up one more time, but put your email address up again. And be sure you say happy birthday when you email. There we go. It's up in the chat one more time. If you scroll up the chat, you're gonna see the theirmoneyyourprofit.com where you can get it. And that way and there's a coupon code right under it called, it's all caps, their money. So you get the deal and you get Tish if you guys get in there right now. Did you say that there was a limit on the number of people that can get Tish's offer?
Well, I would say, I hate to put a number out there because, what's going to happen is that your meeting with Tisha will go out in time more. But right now I think she's got 1 or 2 spots next week on Tuesday. So,
okay.
You can get started as quickly as you want. The longer you wait, the thing is that if there's a lot of people, then the calendar's going to fill. But I don't want to limit it here, because the simple trading plan, it's I can, we can work together, and then then you become a contributor, and I get rid of you from a teaching standpoint, and then I kind of learn from you, like I did, from the concert pianist. Anyway, you'll meet him on one of the meetings. He's a terrific guy, and there's several guys like that, and women like that are that are using loaded gun. Not all of them are doing it through prop trading. A lot of the loaded gun people are just trading straight out. Somebody asked us stocks. No, I have not seen a prop trading with stocks. Okay, I haven't seen prop trading with stocks. In fact, most of them are doing FX, are eliminating FX, because generally I think they're getting very small accounts, and people are just when too many people lose. They start bad mouthing a firm, and all of a sudden everybody. But really, if you're going to do this, you really want to do it through futures. And if you've never traded futures and you're trading forex, there's no difference except for it's easier. So.
There you go. All right. Well, with that, I will say thank you so much. I really appreciate you being with us. And it is 2 programs. Apex has the money. Ezra has asked a question. Apex has the money, and you have to qualify. You have to apply and pass and pay the money monthly. The other program is Norman's program, where he runs you through and teaches you how to do it, plus a million other things there. That one-on-one coaching would be valuable just for the $997. So, but he's going to show you what to do and how to do it. And I'm sure there are things that you shouldn't do, and he knows already. So that's why it does seem like 2 programs, but what it is it's a program where you've got someone else's money to trade with, and you keep 90% of the profit. And then Norman's going to show you how to do it, so you do get the most bang for your buck, right?
Well, you're good at this. Yeah. I mean, just think of me as what you're getting for $997 is exactly how I did it, and I'm going to work with you to make sure that you understand exactly how I did, and that you can exercise that understanding and pass the test. That's what I'm going to do for you. But you need a platform to pass on, and I recommend signing up with through my link, especially with Apex, so that you can have what I consider the best deal out there as far as being able to pass and being able to collect the money responsibly. So
fantastic. All righty. Well, with that, we're going to take a little bit of a break before the afternoon session starts up. Norman Hallett, happy birthday, and thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Great. This is a great thing.
Pleasure. I really appreciate it.
All right,
and I thank everybody out there for sticking with us.
All right. You have a good day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.